What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Supergirl Season 2, Episode 9, Supergirl Lives. So yeah, the CW shows are back, and of course the first one out of the week happens to be my least favorite. And I started thinking about it, and it really, the more I thought about it, the more I realized it's not a bad show at all. I've seen a lot worse out there. I've seen some shows that are just downright stupid and have no meaning at all. This one, the action's pretty good, the CGI this season especially has gotten a lot better. But the story, in my opinion, is where it gets... that's where I can't really get invested. Because when I tune into a show called Supergirl, like, the super part is what makes me want to get involved in the show. But then it's like they focus on the girl part. And it's like that's the crowd they want to bring in. They want to bring in the girl demographic. They don't care about the guys. Honestly, that's kind of how I feel. This episode, a little bit better in that respect. You know, they focus a lot more on the actual superheroing and focus less on, oh, who's she going to get with? What guy is she going to like next? Is Alex, oh, what's going to happen with her? That stuff was pushed to the side. You know, it was very minimal. A couple scenes in the middle of it that just sort of popped up here and there. But for the most part, it stayed focused on these kids are disappearing. Supergirl wants to help them because she feels like she hasn't been doing any actual superhero stuff. It's all been like minor crimes. So she wants to find this missing daughter. She goes to another planet. Apparently it has a red sun, so she has no powers there. Mon-El follows her over, and they realize that this place is trading humans. You know, they're kidnapping them and then selling them to other aliens. And so that's pretty much the story for this episode, and that's where the focus was. For the first time in a long time that I can remember, the focus was where it was exactly supposed to be, on this. And there was even, like I said, there were a couple moments where those other stories did pop up. You know, a scene where Wen and Jimmy are in the DEO locker room, and Wen's blowing up on him because of what happened the night before. You know, little altercation, Wen ends up getting a black eye and nearly gets killed. And so he just, in the spur of the moment, he's freaking out, so he goes off on Jimmy. And then there's a moment where, what's-her-face? Why can't I remember her name now? Like, that's how little I care about Alex and Maggie. That's her name. I care so little about their story. She shows up at the DEO, and Alex, in the spur of the moment, is like, I can't do this right now because Supergirl's missing. She's freaking out. So, yeah, they popped up for a second, cut off, went back to the actual story. So, yeah, I think that's actually, it's an improvement. And I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure Kevin Smith was the one that directed this one because there was a lot of talk that he was going to be directing an episode of Supergirl. If that's true, then that does explain why this was definitely written and directed a lot better. Like, it felt more like what it should. You know, this is an episode of Supergirl. I want to see Supergirl. I don't want to spend half of the episode figuring out, oh, it's Alex and her girlfriend. Are they going to be okay? Are they going to break up or not? That's not where the focus should be. That's not what we should be looking at the most. And yet, that's what happened the first half of the season. So, it's weird thinking about this episode, because in all honesty, I liked it. But the stuff from the first half of the season, the stuff that got the most attention in the first half of the season, that's the stuff that bothered me. You know, Alex and her girlfriend, Jimmy and Wen doing their little superhero thing. Are Kara and Mon-El going to get together? That stuff, it was very minimal in this episode, but when it did pop up, I'm like, skip, you know. And, you know, there were a couple moments, like, when Alex and Maggie get into a little argument, I'm like, seriously, we spent the entire first half of the season just for them to cut it off right now? You know, like, I would prefer that maybe they focused less on that. If they did split them up, maybe that would help a little bit. But at the same time, I feel like you wasted all of my time putting them together in the first half of the season. Like, half of the story was, is Alex going to come out to Maggie or not? And then the other half was, is Kara going to get together with Mon-El? So both of those stories, it feels like in this episode they kind of push them to the side. And maybe that all of that was for nothing. At the end you realize, okay, Alex and Maggie are fine. Kara and Mon-El are going to start working together again. So those stories are still going. But like I said, so much less focus in this episode. And I wish, like, I really hope that they take a page from this episode and say, you know what, that episode was much better because we stopped focusing on the relationships. We stopped focusing on who's going to get together, and we focused more on superheroing. So, as far as the superhero stuff goes, I really think it's interesting how, one, they're bringing the Dominators into it. And I wonder, like, I have to wonder, are these the same Dominators? Like, when we're talking about parallel universes, how do aliens from other universes really, how does that play into it? You know, like, these aliens are from the same, like, different universes, but they're same type of aliens, and I don't know. I'm very curious to see how they're going to handle this because the Dominators are in this, and on top of that, as Mon-El's about to leave, he's about to take a bullet to save Kara, and all of a sudden, one of the Dominators that was there to buy the humans, like, stops the alien guard that's about to shoot him and says, "No, do not harm him," and then bows to him. So I have to wonder if Mon-El is possibly like a Dominator in disguise, or I don't know if maybe if the Dominators are from Daxon or something like that. I'm curious. I really don't know what's going on. I don't know what the plan is with the Dominators, but the fact that they are in there kind of, I don't know, it helps just the overall CW show feel because we're still seeing, even though Supergirl wasn't really involved in the crossover as much as I would have liked, we're seeing the effects of the crossover still there. You know, there's still Dominators out there. So I'm really curious to see what that is, what that's about, what's going on with them. But of course, there are a couple things going on. You know, there's the weird aliens at the end of last season that were looking for Mon-El. Still don't know what that's about, so I feel like there's something going on with him that we don't know about yet. And if it's as exciting as I hope it's going to be, I'm really looking forward to it. If not, it could just be another plot thread that just sort of plays out, and I don't know. It's really hard to get my hopes up too high for this show because even though last season ended on kind of a high note, it still didn't end on that much of a high note. There were still a lot of problems with it. So, yeah, I mean, really, really good episode. Just some of the stuff from the first half of the season still bothered me. I guess having Roulette back was interesting, although now she's stuck on the other planet for now. So I don't know if she's going to be much of a threat anymore, but yeah, it was interesting to see. Hopefully the relationship stuff continues to take sort of a back seat, so I only have to groan like 5 minutes out of an episode instead of 25 minutes out of an episode. But we'll see. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What did you like and dislike about this episode? Let me know. We could talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Supergirl reviews, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.